What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys so very much. Over 1,500 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very much. And yes, we're still living a bit of pandemic life in 2021, but we got some nice holidays coming up, and I got a really awesome way for you to celebrate with some really sweet treats. So we've got the founder and CEO of Delysia Chocolatier today, the wonderful Nicole. Hey, Nicole.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, Nicole. So, Nicole, let us know, where are you from? What city do you represent?
So, Delysia Chocolatier is based and was founded in Austin, Texas back in 2008. So we just celebrated a 12-year anniversary in October. But I'm originally actually from the Northeast. I was born in Philly and grew up in New Jersey and Maryland before moving to Texas back in 1994. So I've been here for a while.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on 12 years in business. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So we'll start off there. How does the story for you guys, how does that begin?
Well, I actually do not have a culinary background, something I'm pretty proud of. I think that allows us to do a lot of the things that we do very well, and not be kind of so fine molded into maybe some of the traditional things that culinary tells you it should be done. I have a master's in engineering from Texas A&M University, and I spent about 15 years or so in corporate America. I worked through the semiconductor industry and worked my way up to being a director of quality. And during that time there, I started making chocolates for holiday gifts for my husband to take to the office. I was 8 months pregnant with my oldest, and he came home and said, I need help finding gifts. And I had been watching a lot of cooking shows, and they had some recipes for handmade chocolate truffles on there. And so I thought, well, I love to bake. I love to cook. This kind of seemed like a natural extension of that. The recipes that I found didn't work. And so putting my engineering skills kind of in work, not realizing it, started tweaking ratios between ingredients and came up with a couple recipes that I liked. Made the most hideous looking hand-rolled truffles ever. Sent them into the office with my husband in terrible looking packaging, but everybody loved them and kept asking for them.
Okay.
We didn't think much of it at the time because our son was born 4 days later, so he was born about a month early, but I found myself, constantly in the kitchen making chocolates, whether it was just kind of a stress relief from my engineering job, or friends just kept asking for them. And so after about a year and a half of that, we decided we would launch Delysia Chocolatier with the intent of it being a, wedding favors, party favors, nothing terribly big. But our very first customer was one of the top wineries in the state of Texas. And so we found ourselves doing a ton with wine and chocolates, which is definitely where my passion is. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about our Valentine event we have coming up. And that's kind of how the story got started.
Okay, cool beans. Well, I'm sure while the chocolates may not have looked how you expected them to come out looking, they were tasty. So that all makes the difference. As long as it tastes good, usually people will look past the presentation of it. So, and I'm sure that you guys have absolutely, you've improved so much, and I'm sure you're nowhere even near where you guys first started today. So, 12 years later, I'm sure there's a lot of improvements. So,
it's funny. We always talk about how we would get excited over an order of, 15, 20 boxes of something, and now that's, now like the perception, the perspective on that is so different from when we first started. It's funny to watch the business grow.
That is awesome sauce. So in those early stages, and you're making these small batch orders pretty much, what was the biggest challenge for you?
Probably the biggest challenge, well, there's a couple, just that, artisanal chocolates isn't something that in the United States, unless you're in New York or San Francisco, that there isn't much resources or aren't, stores that you can go to and buy supplies, and there weren't mentors to talk to. I mean, if you're in Europe, you can find all that stuff, but those things weren't readily available here in the United States. So we had to do a lot of research, a lot of legwork, just kind of figure things out on our own. Right. The other biggest one was with any small business, the financial. At the time that we launched, 2008, 2009, it's kind of funny looking back at that, because if you remember that time period, what we thought for our generation was going to be the worst economic downturn that we would experience. Here we are in 2020, 2021, and going through it again.
Oh my gosh.
But at the time, we were trying to get, we were growing like crazy and really needed a space. I had started out by renting a kitchen by the hour, which just did not work. Was not efficient at all. But the big banks weren't loaning money, and we didn't. I'm not really built for investors. It just wasn't something coming out of corporate America, working for big bosses. I was like, I don't want to have to answer for somebody else in my own company. And so we were hoping that loans and things like that from the big banks would come through, and we were turned down by everybody saying, don't grow your business, come back to us in, 5-10 years and we'll talk then. And I thought, well, that's the craziest advice I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And so my husband and I, we kind of looked at ourselves and we said, well, who better to invest in the business than ourselves? And we decided that we would take, whatever we had sitting in the bank and put that into the business, doing things, slowly.
Yeah.
And, and building it that way. I got I was laid off for about 18 months, and right for my one engineering career, and then right as I had my second child, and then from there, right about the time the business was taking off, the phone started ringing. Well, the phone started ringing for jobs, and we decided at that point that I would just go back to work and put every single penny into the business from my job, and that's what we did until about 3 years ago, when they called me, and I had been working on a contract for the state, and the contract ran out, and they're like, well, we can lay you off, or you can come back in and work in the office, and we'll cut your pay. And I was like, you know what, just go ahead and lay me off. And, I called my husband, and I said, it was right before the holidays, and I said, I kind of want to do a Christmas and a Valentine's Day without being distracted. Like, just it be the business I focus on, see what happens.
Yeah.
And if nothing happens, if it doesn't work, then, I'll start looking for a job again. And that was 3 years ago. We've yet to have that conversation. So it's been going well.
Absolutely.
So those, with any small business, it's always, the biggest thing probably, and what probably keeps small business owners up the most is the financial piece to things.
Definitely. Wow. That is incredible. And so we're right on the heels of another big holiday season that's coming, Valentine's Day. So everybody, you got to get your sweetie some stuff. You got to get mom stuff and whoever. So you guys have some specialty chocolates set up for Valentine's Day. So can we talk about some of those chocolates, Nicole?
Absolutely. So our chocolate truffles are what we're known for. We make them in the traditional Parisian style, which is chocolate and cream. For the traditionalists in your life, we would recommend our Sweetheart collection, which is raspberry truffles, dark chocolate truffles, and champagne truffles. For those that are a little bit more adventurous, we have a Lovers collection that is pistachio and rose petal, and a little bit of cardamom, a strawberry brute, so think champagne and strawberries, and a red velvet cake. And then we're releasing 2 new products this year. Yeah. One is going to be a 16-piece box that's going to be inspired by Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and pay homage to her. Yeah. And then the other collection is made with ruby chocolates, which is the newest type of chocolate on the market, and we're the first in the United States to handcraft truffles with it. So it has this really nice tart complexity flavor profile to it. But the collection is called our Sensual Collection, and it looks at aphrodisiacs, and there's one flavor for the woman. It's our truffled honey ginger, and it's like the flavors that kind of enhance their love life. The second flavor in the box is for the gentleman, and that's our Chipotle orange cranberry, and that kind of enhances his love experience. And then the middle truffle in the box is for both a Merlot cherries and cream, so mascarpone cheese and ruby chocolate with some earthy Merlot added to it and bits of tart cherries. So that one we're really excited about. I think just both the story and then just the flavors are absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And then to enhance it even more, we have a red wine and chocolate pairing virtual evening planned for February 13th, which is Saturday, the day before Valentine's Day at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And for that, you can purchase a ticket on our website. We ship the chocolates to you. Pour yourself a glass of your favorite red wine, and we will talk to you about the proper way to pair chocolate and wine together in a date night experience.
Ooh, okay. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to tune into that one. You guys mark your calendars.
Yeah.
February the 13th. Go and get your tickets now. Definitely checking that out. Nicole, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for just dropping some gemstones on us. Thank you so much. Let everyone know the best way that they can get in contact with you guys, and of course to follow you guys on social media.
Absolutely. So Delysia.com, DELYSIA.com is our website. You can also reach out to me at Nicole@Delysia.com or at 512-413-4701. I'm the owner and the chocolatier, and so love to speak to our customers and would love to help you find that perfect gift for your loved one, sweetheart, this Valentine's Day. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Absolutely. Much more success to you and the team, Nicole. I know that there's a lot of moving hands and moving bodies that get this stuff done. So kudos to you guys and keep pushing forward no matter what. And we appreciate you. So thank you guys so much for all of the downloads, the shares, the cares. It makes a huge difference. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.